I'm about to give you some really good news. If you are an LA Chargers fan, if you're new to the channel, this channel is all about the LA Chargers, but we're Detroit Lions fans. I know, a little weird, but hang in there. This just gives you an unbiased look into your team. So if you're new, you're thinking, I don't know what, why are these guys doing this? Just hang in there. We'll explain it as we go. But this channel's been a lot of fun to just be a part of the Chargers community, and I think people are enjoying it just because, like I said, it's a different look into your team that you're kind of not used to. So if you're a Chargers fan, get ready because I've got really, really good news for you. And it has to do with the draft. And as the draft gets closer and closer, it feels like it's really dragging. And it is, because remember, a few years ago, the draft was right around this time, but the NFL, just to build up more hype and to just control more of the calendar, the sports calendar, moved it to the end of April. So fine, right? What are you going to do? So here's the good news. If you look back at the history of the number 5 overall pick, it's insanely good. The best part is, if you're a Chargers fan, it's insanely good because you were part of it. So the Chargers have picked number 5 overall, and here's what they did the first time they picked number 5 overall in 1990. Junior Seau with the 5th pick, 13 years with the Bolts, 12 consecutive Pro Bowls, and 6 first team All-Pro honors. So the All-Pro honor is really the Pro Bowl. It's kind of voted on by the fans, or it kind of changed later, more recently, but even in Seau's day, like, to go to the Pro Bowl was a big deal. So to get 12 of those, and then 6 first team All Pro honors. So he was probably second team and like honorable mention every year. So you've got Junior Seau, boom, you got that one. The next 5 pick, oh, I don't know, the next legend, LaDainian Tomlinson. And let me know in the comments, Junior Seau, LaDainian Tomlinson, like who got you into being a Chargers fan? Was it Phillip Rivers? Like, who was that first guy that you remember just being like, man, best player on the team, I love him? Was it Seau, Tomlinson? You've had Rodney Harrison, right? Wasn't he on the Chargers? Yeah, dude. The Chargers were just Sean Merriman. I like that guy. Question about Sean Merriman. Was he, and now forgive me, but was he that good, or was he more just like a stud, scary guy, or was he actually really good too? To look that up. All right, LaDainian Tomlinson. So yeah, Junior Seau, LaDainian Tomlinson. Dude, crazy, right? Scoring 10 or more touchdowns every season with the team, and finished his career 5th all-time leading rusher. So another one. It's funny with these greats, Junior Seau, LaDainian Tomlinson, Barry Sanders. I got his college jersey there. They're great. You hear about them, see highlights, but then I'm always blown away by certain numbers that you see. I mean, this one's scoring 10 or more touchdowns every season with the Bolts. What's crazy about that is, if you can get in the end zone, that's great. If you can get in the end zone 5, 6, 7, 8 times in a season, right? That's really a touchdown every other game. I mean, that's good. You can do that for a couple seasons. Like, you're a solid player. Running back, wide receiver. Oh, he's just doing it every single year. So then you look at the history, and we'll just look at kind of the recent history. And the good news is, you'll see a couple whiffs, but it's hard to whiff that 5 pick. There's just blue chip players, and it's really going to be hard for the Chargers to whiff when so many quarterbacks are going ahead of it. So they're going to have their pick of basically anybody if they don't trade out of it. Devin Witherspoon, stud. Like, he's just going to be a stud. Kayvon Thibodeau, kind of like, if we had to go green light, red light, yellow light, he's kind of a yellow light. Like, he's going to be okay. No question. Like, will he be a stud? I don't know, but I mean, he's solid, right? I mean, he led New York with 11.5 sacks in 2023. So far, he's got 15.5 in 2 years. So he's solid. Jamar Chase, stud. Tua, quarterback. He is what he is. He's what are you going to do? Devin White, stud. He was a crucial member of the Bucs Super Bowl run, 38 total tackles, 3 for loss, 2 passes defended, 2 fumble recoveries in the postseason in 2021. Devin White, still solid. Bradley Chubb, solid. Corey Davis, so here's the first one. So that's 2017. So in the last 6-7 years, there's one that's just a straight up flop, right? So he has officially stepped away from football. He's out of the league. Jalen Ramsey, stud. Offensive tackle to the Commanders, Brandon Scherf. I forgot about him. Fine. Khalil Mack still going with the Bolts, stud. 2014. I think it ends there. Yeah, so you can see last 10 years, you can't go wrong with some of these dudes. So if you're a Chargers fan, the good news is you're so sitting pretty. And I didn't realize the Bolts had a history at number 5 overall that was so strong. So that's obviously so encouraging to see. And I love to see that the Chargers are, as you look at mock drafts, and we keep doing the mock drafts over and over, and just kill me. But the best part is there is no scenario that's bad. And if you're a Chargers fan, you're either like stay, pick, get a franchise changing wide receiver, or no, trade it. Can't go wrong. So that's the good news too, is you can't go wrong in this, and I absolutely love it. So another thing I wanted to show you was corner is just a hot button topic as you get to the draft, because you just got to have one, right? I mean, you have to have a really good cornerback. So you've got Asante Samuel Jr. He's no one in the unit itself is over 26 years old, but they've got plenty of game experience. So you have to look at, okay, who's available if we really start looking at the cornerback position. Let's take a look at some of these questions that were asked. There's 2 top corners at the top of the draft in Terrion Arnold and Quinnen Mitchell. Who do you give the edge to, and how close is the race between the first corners taken? So remember, this is kind of where you can still get a blue chip corner if you were to trade the pick. So I think that's interesting. Quinnen Mitchell just keeps getting more and more talked about just because he's physical. He's got the size. He's got the size of the guy we were just talking about that went to the Seahawks. Can't think of his name. But Witherspoon that went to the Seahawks kind of looks like that. Who was the quarterback prospect that the Chargers could target after the first day of the draft? This is a great question too, because there's a lot of corners and it's deep in corners. So that's great. You got Rakeshaw Jr. He's getting a lot of love, and Kamari Lassiter from Georgia. So you can see, even if you don't get Quinnen Mitchell, the top guy, you're still getting a really good player. And then there's Terrion Arnold, there's Quinnen Mitchell, and now here we go to Cooper DeJean. A lot of debate around him. I mean, I don't know. I think he's fine, but I've heard like there's no way. I think he's good. Nate Wiggins, love him. 6'1", 173, so a little bit taller, but not as big and physical. But there's another guy that you can get round 2. I don't know if you can get him. Yeah, round 2. Let's just call it Kool-Aid McKinstry. Everyone likes him just because his name's cool. And he's a good player, but I like him because his name's cool. But I hope you see that if you're the Chargers, you're in great shape. And let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you knew that Junior Seau and LaDainian Tomlinson were picked number 5 overall. And we'll see all of you on the next one.